What's the analysis after the Iran ceasefire? Well, initially, my thoughts were, why the hell could a country like Iran that knew that they were going to be attacked at some point, whether it was this year, next year, or the year after, it was going to happen by Israel, why didn't they have radars that could detect incoming jets? Why didn't they have air defenses? It was obvious why they didn't have planes. That type of tech is very, very hard to get. But my initial thoughts were, why would you trust outdated Russian S-300 radar tech, which is just, pathetic, and didn't help the Syrian regime, who also had the same tech and was completely demolished by Turkish drones. That's not even, a fraction of the tech that the F-35 has. I think I was harsh. I was harsh because I didn't really understand how difficult it is to create an ASAR radar that can pick up F-35s that are stealth jets. For example, to pick up the S-300, which is the tech that they currently have from Russia, picks up the F-35 from 40 kilometers away. Well, the F-35 can shoot a missile from 250 kilometers away. So by the time it could pick the F-35 up, it's already blown up. So the issue is, where I got it wrong, I think, is I didn't realize just how difficult it is to create radars. And maybe it's a lot more difficult than I know. I'm not sure. The jury's out on that. Someone's far more technical and in the know than me. But without good radars, you cannot have a good aerial defense. And without a good aerial defense, your skies are open to having them bomb you whenever they want. And if you know a country is going to attack you, like Iran did, the question has to come up, why didn't it develop its own radars? And maybe the simple answer is, well, they've been in sanctions for 20 years and it ain't easy to develop it. And there's no way their students could have gone to various countries like China, maybe, or Russia, learned how to make this stuff and come back and developed it. I don't know. I'm not that guy. What we can instantly draw a conclusion from, however, is that Russia, supposedly the ally of Iran, clearly didn't help in developing that tech, and clearly didn't even give it its own tech, its own early defense warning. So it just shows, Muslims are very quick to go, oh, Russia's going to help. Russia don't help anyone but themselves. And Russia is no friend of the Muslims and never has been. I'm sure Iran gets something out of being an ally with Russia, but it clearly isn't much. And Iran, not being able to, doesn't have many friends in the world due to the, West's power. It currently, beggars can't be choosers. I guess it takes what it takes. On the flip side, however, Iran has actually proven that they're not incompetent. They chose to focus on what they could develop within their capability, and that was missiles. Now, yes, Israel was able to dominate Iranian skies. But what Iran calculated on was to say, well, okay, we can't dominate Israel's skies, but neither can you. You can't stop us from tearing through your aerial defenses and some of our stuff getting through. And that was bad enough for Israel, because not only did they exhaust the Iron Dome, which cost billions at 233 million a day to keep those missiles being shot down, which would have, imagine a month's worth of that. Yeah. But what they showed to the rest of the world is, hold on, there's a type of warfare that doesn't involve anything but missiles. And you might not be able to have the tech to purchase an F-35, but you don't need to. You could get I don't know how much it is, $2 million or whatever it is, missile, and dominate the sky of your enemy. So they really have shown the world that there is a new way of warfare, and that's just about missiles. I mean, they didn't have any planes at all. They grounded their planes, or they moved their planes to foreign neighboring countries so they didn't get destroyed. So in effect, they had a zero air force and still managed to penetrate the airspace and create a damage on the ground to a foreign country. And other countries must have looked on that and gone, wow, okay, that's a new game in town. And they did. Turkey, for example's president came out and said, we're going to ramp up missile production because no one's even going to think about attacking us if this is the game in town. And you can see it was something that the Iranians literally pulled out the bag, because no one thought that Iran could have it stood up to Israel, let alone America. And yet it's Israel that's more than happy to accept this particular ceasefire, and Iran's not the one that backed down, no matter how many threats it got. So you got to take your hat off to them. They know from their limited ability war, and with the limited access they have to tech after 20 years of sanctions, they played the best hand they could, which was never going to be a great hand, but they played it like a master, and you have to take your hats off. I'm not a fan of everything Iran does, don't get me wrong. I'm not an Iran fanboy. I know that they've played an awful game in other areas of the Middle East. But on this particular game, on this particular battlefield, you got to take your hats off to them. They did a job.